why the transition to Chris Pickren Memorial and why that is so impactful to it.
Well, if you ever hear Kerry Nick, the head coach at Freeport High, talk about it, he was here at South Walton and was the head coach at the time when the tournament was born. And all three of Chris Pickren's sons wrestled at South Walton. And at the time, wrestling wasn't that big in the area, and they wanted to put something together that was going to draw in teams. They wanted to be able to help the community, hotel wise, and these restaurants in the area, and just build on something that we could have that was just that South Walton was known for, and South Walton is now known for this Border Wars tournament. And you're talking all over the southeast part of the country. These guys love to come here and they love to wrestle. And again, Chris Pickren was the original brainchild behind this. And he started with, these teams and making connections out of Louisiana and bringing these kids like Woodward Academy, from Woodward Academy, and Jeff Reagan was the coach. He's now at Lemon Bay. He was up there at the time, and they came in. They got Lake Highland Prep here in the first beginning of the years. Lincoln has wrestled in this tournament. Florida High. This was back before the Cam Brown. So we're, in the 13th year of this, and we haven't skipped a beat. Now, when you start building something, don't get me wrong, there are always hiccups. We've had track wrestling crash, but we've had to work out the kinks and the processes. And really good coaches understand that there are some growing pains. But this thing is a well-oiled machine now, and it's all because Chris put it together. And I'm not saying that he did it for selfish reasons, because all three of his boys wrestled here. But I think he was doing it because he wanted everybody to benefit. One, we don't have to travel. Two, the community is getting money. TDC has donated shirts to our tournament before. The tourism people, they donated shirts to our tournament. We've given out awards and all kinds of stuff. We have people from the community that have no interest in wrestling other than to come and watch wrestling show up to this thing just to see how incredible it is. Our sponsors show up every year and they love it. They love it. And it's something that he wanted that was able to build around it. When Chris passed away a couple of years ago, we wanted to memorialize that for him. He was the one that called it Border Wars. He's the one that named it. He's the one that, really thought it through. You know what I mean? And it took a lot to step out and make those connections. It's a lot of work. And so just to honor him in a little bit of ways, well, in a lot of ways, to honor him and keep his legacy rolling, we didn't want to completely change the name from Border Wars because, again, he named it. But we wanted people to understand how important this tournament was to him. Even after his kids graduated, him and his wife, they came and they worked the tournament every year. So it was something that made him proud, something that made the community proud. And anybody who knew wrestling in the area knew that this was his baby. And so we just wanted to keep that going for him and make sure that people understood the backstory behind it. It is his Border Wars, man, and I'm just happy that we can keep it up and running and give a little bit back to as much as he gave to this program, and not just him, his family, as much as they gave to this program, man. We're just excited that we can, in some small way, give a little bit back.
I know one thing that people are excited about is that you guys added a girls division this year. Yeah.
Yes, so maybe one day in the future we'll be able to get some bigger facilities, but as of right now we've got the girls division added. We had to drop back a little bit on our JV, which was what we tried out last year. It's just a hassle with the way that the tournament is set up to try and take those kids out of the varsity portion and put them into a separate tournament and then keep them running. So last year we had a couple of hiccups where we had kids that were in both brackets. We didn't want that. But I think the girls need their shot, man. And so we decided that if we're going to build a program and help grow wrestling, then girls need to be wrestling. So what do? We dropped the JV division. We kept it varsity only for the boys. And we opened up those 3 mats for the girls. They'll wrestle on Saturday. So just a one day to start out with. We're going to try and grease the machine a little bit, see if we can't get it up and running. And then hopefully in the near future, we'll be able to, have a tournament that is 2-day, just as big, separate location, running two tournaments at the same time, and these guys can just wear it out, you know, guys and girls, I should say. But we're trying to give them their
I
due. I
mean,
think they deserve it. Fastest growing sport
dude,
in the
that
world, man.